Hello, friends, and welcome to another episode of Letting Go. I am your host, Nadine Marsh, and I am so happy you decided to share your time with me today. In our sessions, we have looked into the divorce process and how devastating it can feel, and also what an emotional and physical toll it can take on our very bodies, our soul, and our existence. And if we're not careful, we can end up in a worse situation than where we started. So, when you get an opportunity to get the book, It's Okay to Let Go, from which our sessions are based, just bear in mind that the book was written to be an easy read, designed to paint a quick picture on life during the divorce process, but most important, how to move on after it's over. It's got sections for journaling and questions that hopefully will result in some deep soul searching on your end, and answers that you get will help you heal as you go on your way to a better situation. If this is your first time with me, welcome. I believe you're in the right place. So hang in there, and also feel free to check out the prior uploads for what you may have missed. As always, we open up in prayer to set the atmosphere for not only what's to come, but that God would open our hearts and let us feel His love being poured into it. Father God, thank you for this opportunity to come together and just pour out our hearts, oh God. I pray in the name of Jesus for our new listeners, for those who have never been with us before, that you would soften their hearts and let them come with ears to listen and not be quick to anticipate what is going to be said. Let us all be honest with ourselves, oh God, because it is in honesty that growth will come. Let us not shy away from the pain that we feel, because out of the pain will come power and our ability to help others who may be going through this horrible process of divorce. Thank you for tonight. I'm excited for this evening's episode, and I ask that you pour out your love and let it be felt. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen. So
Amen.
I am excited. Yay! Hello.
Hello.
Each time I talk about not only the book and its content, but I truly come in here to download what I've learned so you may fast track where possible to the next steps. Today, I'm excited even more so because I have my girls, my daughters on the program with me to share their experiences with us and what it was like being a child and seeing the two people that they love the most going through a terrible breakup. So, ladies, please introduce yourselves.
All right. My name is Kyra Isaacs. I am 25 years old. And I'm the firstborn. So yeah, that is me.
Hi, I'm Nairi Isaacs. Obviously, I'm not the first, but I'm the second born, but I am the most favorite. And I'm 20 years old, so we're about 5 years apart.
Yes.
Um, yeah.
Well, welcome, ladies. This is truly a proud mama moment for me because you both are evidence and proof that God loves me. I say that because you both were, and you still are, instrumental in helping me deal with some very tough moments. And although we had ups and downs and, horrible ups and downs, I would do it all over again. So I'd have you both.
I agree.
So, welcome, and just relax. Don't overthink, and speak from your heart. A lot of the questions that I'm going to ask, um, just be honest with your responses and just let it all out. So, I did some research, and according to studies I found on the internet, the effects of divorce on children vary depending on how the family as a whole works together to minimize the damages, right? And divorce in and of itself can be very difficult for the family. Not can be, it is very difficult for the family because there is that tearing away, that physical feeling sometimes as if you've lost a part of you.
Right.
So there'll be struggles along the way, even after the process has been finalized. Nonetheless, we found out that some children are more resilient than others, and others experience reactions in areas suggesting, other issues and challenges. And the studies talk about areas usually impacted will include poor performance in school, a loss of interest in social activity, difficulty adapting to change, difficulty adapting to the new home environment, emotionally sensitive, as feelings of loss, anger, and confusion are brought up, and anger, irritability, destructive behavior, health problems. And I could go on and on and on. So, for the sake of time, what I hear is that all of these processes and the whole divorce um, issue can sometimes cause anxiety and panic. And just reading it, I mean, I know that we as a team went through some of it, and some of the setbacks I recall seeing in one of you was the back talk and the anger. So I'll turn it over to you guys. What are some of the things that you experienced that were in direct relation to the divorce? And when I say what are some of the things, I'm speaking mainly from feelings of, what you thought of yourself, what you thought of the process. Just take that however you choose, and then just let us know from what angle you're coming so that we can understand.
Okay, well, I don't mind putting myself on blast and saying it was me with the back talk. That that came from, I guess, as a child, I was trying to process my environment. We went from a two-parent household to a one-parent household, and I was trying to understand what was happening. So imagine trying to process this great loss and you don't have all the answers, and then people are trying to influence you on what is right, what really happened, and you're trying to like pick up the pieces. So I would say the whole thing was just really confusing. It was a lot to process as a child because you don't understand what it means when your parents aren't together anymore. You think, well, did I do something? Is it because I came here while you guys are unhappy? Was this always a thing? It's just a lot for a child to process. And then I feel like the self-blaming happens because, kids are just trying to be kids and play and have fun. So when something bigger than them happens, it's a lot to mentally process and to digest as a child.
Yeah. And that's good. So let's come back to, before I go over to Nairi, let's come back to some of the things that you said. When you said it was confusing and you kind of took it personal and started to blame yourself for the separation, would it have helped if we sat down? And I mean, you were what, 5, 6 at the
Yeah,
time?
I was 5.
Yeah. Would it have helped if we sat down as a unit and discussed it? I mean, how could we as adults lessen that impact on you?
Honestly, and I feel like I may sound a little bit biased because I know more now of what happened, like with the divorce. As a child, I honestly don't think I would have been able to process that information.
Mhm.
And unfortunately, the only party who would be able to give me answers is you, of course. And there would be spaces in the other story, and then I'd be confused. So I personally feel like I'm glad we didn't sit down and talk about it when I was younger because it wouldn't make sense. I would
Okay.
still be very confused and not sure, because I wasn't an adult. So I'm not
Mhm.
able to process how you guys process and look at things
Mhm.
how you guys looked at it. I'm looking at it as, I'm a child. I want both of my parents here
Okay.
because that's where I see, my friends have their parents. So I just want that. And I wouldn't be able to process, some of the professional or like mature matters when it comes to you guys discussing it or breaking
Yeah.
it down to me.
No, and that's good. But then we would obviously simplify it and explain why mommy and daddy would be living together. And, again, explain that it has nothing to do with you, that
Right.
you get to have two homes. And I mean, if we simplify it to the point where it sounds less traumatic and less damaging, and make it seem, as best as possible,
Yeah.
a little bit more light, even though you can't really make light of a situation like that. But looking back, I feel like if we had that discussion as a unit, just my personal opinion, I think it would not have been so intense for you, because you and you still are, you're very intelligent, very
Thank you.
intelligent child. Yeah. All right, so Nairi, over to you. Same question.
Yes, and then just to make sure I'm answering the question correctly, can you go and repeat it for me, please?
Yeah. No, so I wanted to know if helping you process the divorce, what are some of the things that you experienced that were in direct relation to the divorce, whether it's feelings of, and I don't want to put words in your mouth. How did you feel? What did you think? What was your thought process as everything was going on? And I mean, you were literally like, what, 2?
Say I was like a baby, so
Yeah.
honestly,
Yeah.
a lot of the stuff, it didn't really come on to like later on in life, but kind of
Right.
like piggybacking off of what Kyra was saying, like when it comes to kids, they just want to know, basically like with kids, like they just want to know why. Like that's their biggest question is why. So, they want to have answers to every single question that they have. So I feel like being a kid, when you don't have the answer to something, it confuses you and it kind of like frustrates you. So you start to, exhibit behaviors of acting out or talking back because you don't really know what's going on. So you're trying to make sense of everything.
Mhm.
So I feel like that is, as it's a maladaptive coping skill, but it's still nonetheless how people choose to cope with certain things. But I know, like with me personally, like I said, I was pretty young, so my feelings or my attitudes or thoughts towards the divorce didn't really come on till later in life, when I would ask my questions and I would get the answers. And obviously, it's not really answers that you want to hear, but it's just like, okay, well, I mean, that makes sense as to why, my parents aren't together, because, being a kid, you just see your parents like, oh, cool, my parents, like, they're happy, but you have no idea like what goes on in that relationship, so just living with somebody isn't enough. Like, you don't really know exactly what's happening, like the ins and outs. So really, I would say I don't really think I was problematic, not even throwing shots at you, Kyra.
No worries.
But no, I don't think I was problematic. I think it was just like a what's done is done type of thing for me, because I mean, what could I really do? I was 2 and now like I'm grown up, so it's a little bit less confusing and like wearing on me than it is for Kyra, because she lived in it, she experienced it, and I didn't really. So
yeah,
I would say I was pretty neutral for the situation.
No, but nonetheless, even though we couldn't sit and talk to you because your capacity to understand, I mean, even if we simplified it for you at 2, there is no understanding it at that
exactly,
point.
because
No
it's way beyond us,
right?
More way beyond me, at least.
But let's come back to what you talked about with later years. What does that impact look like?
Well, with my later years, I would say it was really more of just irritation than it was anything else. Just irritable as far as like, well, if I'm supposed to have 2 parents, then why do I only see one parent putting in work, Okay. And that was just my biggest thing. It's just the irritation of it. As far as like the whole relationship, I didn't really have like feelings towards it, because again, nothing that I could really do. It was just like, at this point, since I am like an adolescent, you should be able to reach out to me, because I'm able to, operate under my own autonomy, do things that I want to do. So I'll be able to make the choice of if I want to hang out with you or not. And I never was really given that option, like, hey, do you want to hang out this weekend or whatever? Yeah. So it kind of made me feel like, okay, well, obviously you just don't care. So I would say my biggest thing was just irritation.
But did it ever directly relate to your esteem? Did you feel like you were less than because the other party wouldn't reach out to you? And I mean, let's not talk in circles. You're talking about your non-custodial parent, your father, right?
Correct.
So did you ever feel like if you had a conversation with him that things would be put out there for him to try to understand your viewpoint? Or did you feel like it was useless and you didn't even try?
I would actually try, but it was kind of like both of those in one thing. Like I would try, but it was still useless because he was just too stuck in his ways and stuck to his own ideology and beliefs. Like, oh, this is what happened, this is what happened. So really, you can't really express your feelings to somebody who already has a narrative in their head that they believe happened, if that makes sense. Yeah, so it's kind of like I can express. It's kind of like talking to a brick wall. Like you can talk and say how you feel, but up until they choose to, listen. Your cries are just falling on deaf ears. So it's just like, eventually you just learn just to be quiet and just be like, okay, well, it just is what it is.
Agreed.
So that narrative became so distorted, if I'm hearing you correctly, that you didn't even bother to challenge it. You just decided to let him believe what he believed.
Exactly.
Instead of trying to sell the nonsense as far as why the marriage didn't work. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So sticking with you, since you have the mic, did you ever feel like you were less than, or did you feel embarrassed since your parents were going through a divorce?
Not really embarrassed, because like I said, I didn't even understand the concept myself.
No. I mean, later on, when you were old enough to understand that your parents are together, did that impact you with any feelings of shame or guilt or anything like that?
I don't think I really had feelings of shame or guilt. No, it was just kind of like a, what is that word? Kind of like a loss. It's just like, oh man. But then, because you kind of relate, or you compare yourself to what other people have. Even though their parents are still divorced, both their parents are still involved. Yeah. So it's just like, I wonder what it would have been like if my other parent was actually involved. That's the only thing that really circles back.
Okay.
But
okay. And what about you, Kyra?
May you repeat the question, please?
Yeah, sure. Were you ever ashamed or embarrassed that your parents were going through the breakup? Because you were a little bit older, obviously, and everything didn't necessarily play out outside the home. Everybody was civil, everybody was decent, but nonetheless, you were picked up, dropped off at school by your dad, and then that stopped. How did that impact you in school? Did any of your friends ask about it? What was that life like?
Well, I didn't realize what was happening until I realized what was happening, if that makes sense. Because I didn't realize that he wasn't being consistent until he wasn't. So in the beginning, when he was, doing what he was supposed to do and coming and picking me up, I didn't have a problem with it until I started seeing him less and less, and I didn't notice it until my friends noticed it, or a question was asked like, oh, well, do you hang out with your dad? And then I started realizing wow, he really did stop coming around, and I didn't pay attention to it because I'm so busy doing other things. So once it pointed itself out, then I did start to feel weird. I did start to feel different, because I always thought that, having two parents is something that you're supposed to have. You see it on TV, all the little sitcoms, everything I used to watch, like Dexter's Laboratory. He would always have, his mom and his dad. So it eventually bothered me, because I'm like, dang, what's wrong with me? Why I can't have both parents? And I'd be upset. So I would say, yes, it definitely did affect my self-esteem. And I always wondered if something was wrong with me, why I don't have both parents.
So if your friends didn't point it out, would you say that the shows would have created that significant impact as it did, or?
Yes, for sure.
Okay. So it's the fact that you're seeing all these images of, quote unquote, the complete family.
And yes, and then I'm realizing okay, wait, I don't have that.
Wow. Okay.
It's like seeing, all the Mycene dolls and the Brats, and you see that and you get it. It's not that easy when you're trying to complete your family unit. When stuff like that is pointed out to kids, stuff that they're paying attention to, then they start to apply it to their lives, which, you have to be careful what you put into your system, but that's another podcast.
So looking back at the entire process, were you angry or upset with your parents?
Yes, definitely angry and upset with my parents, and also confused. I definitely took it out on you because you were there most of the time. I wasn't able to speak to my father about the situation. And of course, when I did try to, I would always get the runaround. And I always thought it was because I was a kid and, he didn't want to divulge too much information or whatever the case may be. But once I got older, I did I did have a conversation with him, and the conversation didn't even make sense. I left more confused. I left with more questions. And so now, as an adult, it is what it is. I'm not going to be upset about a situation I can't control, or, be upset of the answers that I was given, because if he believes that narrative, then that's fine. Because I mean, at this point, we all know what happened,
Right.
because he has family members that are, things just start to add up as an adult, and everybody can't be a liar. So,
So it's safe to say that one parent doesn't have to throw shots, as you young
right,
people like to say,
right.
because and correct me if I'm wrong. Did I ever make you guys feel like you had to pick sides? Because that's another thing that we talked about in a prior session, where parents try to pit the kids against the other parent.
No, if anything, you were very adamant about me having a relationship with him, and I got to a
Mhm.
certain point where I didn't want to because I didn't see the point.
Yeah.
So I would definitely say that you were an advocate for the relationship. We need to, try to reach out and call, not to say that we're supposed to run him down, because we are the kids. We can do our part, happy birthday, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, and see what comes of it.
Right.
Right.
Okay. So, Nairi, you just chimed in, and obviously something resonated with you. What was it, and why did it resonate?
You mean with like agreeing with Kyra?
Yes.
Just basically when she was saying how, or when you asked the question of, do you feel that you would like pit us against him? And I completely agree. Like, no, if anything, I remember like you'd always be like, oh, you should see like if your dad can pick you up this weekend, or oh, what are you doing this weekend? Like, you should text your dad. Like, you were always like pushing me onto him, not because of my own doing, just because you want us to like have that relationship. And if
Right.
he wasn't trying, you'd at least like want us to at least put in a decent effort. That way maybe things did work out. So I feel like you were very, very, it was kind of like a adverse effect of a divorce. Typically parents are like, oh no, I don't want you anywhere near them, but I feel like that made you push us towards him more, if that makes sense.
Yeah. One of the things that I didn't want to happen is that you guys didn't know who he was, and I didn't understand at the time that he was trying to use me as the scapegoat for not developing that relationship with you ladies. And
Right.
sometimes I wonder and I question myself, because y'all know how I like to wallow in guilt.
Where did I go wrong?
Where? And sometimes I wonder, did I push you guys too hard to the point where when you were receiving that rejection from him, how did that make you ladies feel? Did that further compound the issue, or did it justify a certain feeling? I mean, what was that looking like? What did that feel like?
Well, go ahead.
Oh, okay. I feel like honestly, it kind of, I guess that's probably, how do I say this in a, okay, so I feel like since like, we kept on getting like doors slammed in our face, it kind of like neutralized us to rejection. So it's like, say something like, we're, at least like just for me, I can't speak for everyone, but I'm just speaking for myself. Like that way, like when things like don't work out like in life, I'm just like, oh, well, like I'm used to rejection. So I feel like it kind of like opened up a door to being like neutralized, or just being like used to being like, okay, well, if things don't work out, that's how it's supposed to be, like, and really like it's not like that. Like I shouldn't be so adamant about like, okay, well, if things don't work out, that's how it's supposed to be. Like I shouldn't have that thought in my head.
Yeah.
I feel like definitely played a part in that.
Yeah,
I agree.
Well, that's good. So you developed what people call a tough outer shell.
Tough skin.
Yeah. Okay.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and that tough skin has bitten me quite a few times in the back, because sometimes I wonder if anything bothers you, which is a good thing, but then it's like, good Lord, please. All right. So the next thing I wanted to know, looking back at the entire process, if you had to do that part of your life over again, what part would you skip? And so it's a two-part question. Let's start with this first. What part would you skip, if any?
Okay. I would skip me searching for answers, because I've realized in life certain things happen. You're not always going to get closure. Sometimes closure is not the best thing for you. Sometimes you just need to figure out your own closure in your own way without having to look to somebody for answers.
Wow.
I personally would just, look at the situation and be there for who is there for me, and focus on what's going on in the moment and stop trying to focus on what is not there. Because if you're not careful, you'll continue to focus on what's not there. You'll never be happy. And soon 10 years have passed by and you're like, yo, I've been upset this entire time for what? Like, you're wasting time, you're wasting energy, and that's stress. So that's one thing that I would go back and change.
Okay. All right. I want to come back to something you said, but let me go to Nairi.
If I'm being completely honest, which I know sounds so corny, I actually wouldn't want to change anything. I feel like it kind of like helped me be the person I am today. And I love who I am today because I'm able to, take a punch and be like, okay, well, that didn't work out. So let's figure out what we need to do, how we can fix it. It kind of like gives me that skill of being like, okay, well, now, we can like form a plan. So, I wouldn't change. I wouldn't change anything.
Okay. So it's safe to say that you are not traumatized by the process.
No, not at all.
Okay. And I can understand that too, because at the onset, you're obviously a baby. So your capacity to understand what was going on was limited in that regard. Kyra's blow was a little bit more intense. But Kyra, coming back to what you talked about when you said, getting answers, I think that that's a very mature conclusion to come to. And it goes into self-protection. But then what about the person who has the capacity to give you answers? Wouldn't you then want to get the answer from that person?
Yes,
instead of just
and
automatically
no.
shutting down? Okay, go ahead. Tell me why no.
Yes. Okay, so why no is because sometimes that can open the door for new wounds and new things depending on how that person is.
Okay.
So if they're not willing to, I guess, I don't want to say answer your questions in the way that you want them to be answered. It's more so you don't know what they're going to say. You don't have control over the conversation, really. So you may go in thinking, okay, we're going to solve this issue. And then you unravel another issue in it.
Okay.
And then what is the point?
Right.
And then I say, that was no. And then why yes is because if you want to get that for yourself, just so you can say, I tried, then you should do that as well. But
so closure is not necessarily a thing that you have to get.
Me, no more. Not anymore as an adult.
Okay. Does this apply to all your issues and your relationships? And when I say relationships, not just with parental relationships, but also your platonic relationships and your romantic relationships?
Well, it's a yes and no again. So I say yes because, and I don't want this to sound bad, but yes, it does matter to me to get closure from like my best friend, from my mom, someone that I'm going to spend the rest of my life with, my husband, boyfriend, whoever. It matters to get closure from them. What doesn't matter is if, a coworker and I have a misunderstanding, and I don't want to say that I don't value that person, but it's like, I don't have to stress out about you, you're just in one place of my life. You're not in my personal life.
Okay.
Then I'm not going to go and get closure because I don't have to deal with you every day. I just deal with you at work, and we can keep it at work.
Right. So it's not that we're advocating disrespect to people.
Correct.
We just understand what
Their
relationships are important,
Exactly.
which ones are in our sphere of influence, which ones are in our direct control, and most importantly, which ones are most important, which ones matter. Okay. Very good. Okay, good. So then the part B of my question is, if you could write your own story, and you both answered it in some form, would you write it different, or would you expound on a particular area, or would you keep it as is?
If we were to write our own story, like surviving divorce?
Yes.
I would definitely write mine as is, and definitely push people in the direction of self-love, because that's really what it is going to take for you to survive divorce. Like, you have to realize that you as a child, you matter, and it wasn't your fault. It's out of your control. So you need to spend that time loving yourself and not focusing on what you don't have, or what you're neglecting, or thinking something is wrong with you, or, you know, spending time with people just because you want love from them. You're looking for that affection. So I would definitely write my story the same way and just emphasize self-love.
Oh, that's
And
good.
God
Right.
too, because God and self-love will get you there. As long as you
Right.
focus on people who are there, focus on bettering yourself. You know, you saw your parents go through a situation, you may not want that for yourself. Focus on how to become better, become
Mm-hmm.
greater,
Yeah.
grow out of this situation.
Yeah. But that comes with maturity and that comes with time. Great answer.
Yes.
Okay. Miss Nairi?
Yeah, kind of like keeping the same mindset. I wouldn't really change anything, honestly.
Yeah.
I feel like I like the way that everything played out for me.
Yeah. Okay. So to the listeners who have children, how do you counsel the parents, the adults, so that the impact on the children will be lessened? Not LESSON, LESSENED.
Right.
Lesson. Right.
Minimize, you mean.
Yeah, minimize. Thank you. And that's to both of you. Whoever wants to go first. I don't care.
I'd honestly say just like remain neutral, to minimize the stress or the trauma caused to the child. Just like explain to them everything that's going on. Not in detail, not great gory detail, but just, explain like, okay, sometimes in life, things happen. This, we're getting a divorce because because at that point, the child has autonomy to, one, decide, okay, I understand what's going on, and two, they're able to decide, okay, now that I understand what's happening, like, what am I going to do? That way, like, they're not left in the dark, or they don't act out because they're confused. Because like I told you, kids just like to know what's going on. I know me, like, I'm very, very inquisitive, so I need to know, like, what's going on, like, why are we doing things, what we need to do that for, So giving that child like that opportunity to express themselves, express like how they're feeling, that kind of like opens up the door for trust and autonomy, and it allows the parent and the child to maybe might become closer because they're able to bond, and express, like similarities or like concerns that they have.
Mm-hmm.
And
the
similar.
The environment has to be conducive for that as well. Judgment free.
Right.
Agreed.
You allow them to speak openly, not disrespectfully. Let's be clear. Right. Okay. All right. Kyra?
I am going to piggyback off of what Nairi said. Definitely want to create a space that is, I guess, judgment-free zone, and just be open to hearing what the kid has to say.
Yeah.
I would also go as far as letting the kids speak freely without being disrespectful, like you said, but you want them to communicate their feelings so it can be completely transparent and you can understand what's going on. And also just give your kid lots of love and affirmations and let them know, like, this is your home. This is your safe space. And the world is where you go out and you make mistakes and you get hurt. But here is where you can do all of that and not be judged and be met with love at the same time.
Right, exactly.
Wow, that's awesome. I like the way you said that. And especially when you have two individual households, right? So you've got the father, you've got the mother. Make sure that you encourage the child to be just as open with the non-custodial parent as well. Because sometimes the child can have a way to reach that other parent better than you can, because it's coming from a place of unconditional love. And we want to make sure that we express to the children that, listen, no matter what, we as the parents might not be together anymore, but this has nothing to do with our relationship with you.
Right.
We'll always be your mother. We'll always be your father, no matter what. And to what you both said, which I thought was beautiful, that focus on self-love, that focus on the parental love, that unconditional love that's given to the children, will definitely strengthen with time and with constant contact. I absolutely love that. And then, so in closing, you both, in my opinion, are very successful at what you do. And, what do you credit for that? Because I really had no issues with you ladies. I really did not. And sometimes when I look back at, again, the studies that are on the internet and experiences that friends or family members or even associates have gone through in their own divorce, and just seeing the dynamic between the children and the parents just totally disintegrate. And we have these wounded children that come out as a result. But I think you ladies did great. You both are doing what you love. And I mean, we all have trauma. Let's just be clear. We all have dysfunction. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about, what do you credit your focus and your drive to be who you are today?
I would say that I definitely credit it to you, Mom, because I've seen what you could go through, and I haven't even gone through anything really. So I'm like, if my mom can make it through something so, something that was really sent to destroy her, life is really not that hard. And I don't want to, do the comparison game and be like, oh, you didn't really go through anything or anything like that. But when you put it into perspective, it's like, life is obviously unpredictable. But as long as you have people that are there for you, it's fine.
Yeah.
The worst thing that could happen to somebody is death. And if it didn't kill you, you can keep
Right.
going.
Amen. Amen,
Right.
sister. Yep. Nairi.
I would say whatever I credit to, it's gonna sound so corny, but like honestly, God, because I know that me see like what a real relationship with God's supposed to look like. So taking your practices and like instilling them into my life and creating that foundation, it really helps me to define like, okay, these are my values, these are my goals, and everything that I've wanted to do. Like so far, I'm obtaining the goals that I've set for myself, and I do accredit that to you, yes, and God as well.
Yeah. Thank you for the honesty. And I mean, when I went through the divorce, it affected my relationship with God. I'm just going to be very honest, and I think I was very transparent with you both. And I was mad at him. I didn't understand certain things, so I had to go through what I went through. But in so doing, I was honest, and I feel like that's really what was the difference maker in my relationship with God. That I was totally transparent to the point where I started to realize, dang girl, you got some issues. And you could have done some things differently.
Right.
And not to say that it wouldn't have ended in divorce, but I learned a lot. I became a better person. I took ownership of my stuff and the things that I did or didn't do. And I tried to raise you ladies to be decent, God-fearing women. And I'm glad to hear that today that's where you are and that's what you credit your success for, because you both individually and collectively show me parts of me that I would like to strengthen. And I admire you both. I'm not just saying this to gas y'all up, because both of y'all have a big head.
Right, I'm about to say. Plus, that sounds something that you...
Exactly. But I really do admire a lot of things that you ladies do and your tenacity with which you go after your goals. It's very admirable. And I'm grateful that I get to see the good, the bad, the ugly, the struggles, and that we could talk through it. So, parents, just give your kids the time to really get their thoughts together. Obviously, the older they are, the easier. And when I say easier, it might not be easy, but the when I say easier, it's not necessarily not going to come with any friction. That's not what I'm suggesting, but it's easier for them to understand because of their capacity. For the younger children, I'm an advocate for counseling, and you ladies also went to divorce care, got some counseling, and that helped us too. I strongly recommend that. Group sessions, individual sessions, and again, just talking to the children like Kyra and Nairi said tonight, that helps. That goes a long way, and they get to see the human side of mom and dad. Simply put, because we appear sometimes as Superman and Wonder Woman, we do everything perfectly.
As well.
Yeah, we don't. We are flawed individuals, and we make mistakes. We just, some of us hide it better than others.
Right.
and we put makeup on it and we go, we act like we're functioning, but deep inside we're breaking down. Let's do better. Let's get the support that we need. Hopefully these podcasts will be one source of encouragement, one source of strength for you all. And ladies, I just want to thank you both for your time today. And any parting words?
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, I was about to say the same
really
thing.
nice to share my thoughts on your podcast. I'm very happy that, this has been coming together for a long time, and I'm very happy to be a part of it. I know it's going to be something great, and I'm hoping that, people will be blessed by what we're saying.
Yeah.
Right. It feels very nice when somebody says something and you're like, wow, I feel the same way.
Mm-hmm.
And then a bond forms. So I know that this podcast will definitely help a lot of people.
Yeah. And I want you ladies to come back. I mean, this is just the beginning for us.
Right.
And, as you think of things, or as you get exposed to things or experiences, or something that someone says to you, let's talk about it. Let's formulate a topic around it and let's talk about it. Because to your point, Kyra, you never know how your misfortune can lead to someone being blessed.
Right.
Yeah. All right, Nairi,
Absolutely.
parting words from you, ma'am.
No, Kyra pretty much said everything. I appreciate you for having us.
Yes.
I enjoyed my time.
Good. All right. You have heard it here. We thank you for joining us, and we look forward to another episode. Later on, I want to talk to a few of my friends, male and female, who have gone through the divorce process, and just kind of get their input on how it made them feel, for those who want to hear other person's perspectives. As always, leave your comments and reach out to us via email or on the website and let us know your thoughts, your input. And I always like to close out with this: be kind to yourself, be kind to others, and until we meet again, take care.